But like, I've got some like good feedback already, and I'll tell you about it after the interview.
Yeah. I can imagine it becomes maybe even a bit boring because of the repetitive part. Like you have the same session the day after.
For me,
Yeah.
personally, yeah, I find personally that we don't go deep enough on some of the sessions. Like yesterday, it was a good introduction, but I think we needed like 3 more sessions afterwards.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna get my laptop.
It was like the drum roll without the last one. You know, the you don't know where it ends. It's just, it wasn't a complete finalized session with a conclusion of, hey, this is something new, or
Yeah, I understand. And I think that like it's important that like next time that the next one we do, we can build some of this feedback into it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you some questions that I kind of know the answers to, some of them, but it's for people who maybe, you know, it's like if I show this to my boss, get perspective on who you are and stuff.
Okay.
So maybe you want to just start by like, and you can look at me, don't look at the camera.
Okay.
Telling me who you are,
Yep.
your background, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay. So I'm 30 years old. My name is Maarten, by the way. I live here in Amsterdam for 12 years. Reason for moving to Amsterdam obviously was to study here. I started with business administration and received a bachelor degree. And after 5 years, I started my first company, which was into HR, and it was a service called pre-employment screening. So basically, if this was an applicant interview, I would hand over my resume, which could say I have my master degree, which I don't have, and you probably won't check it. So we checked that. We did it for companies like FedEx and Nuon, and yeah, I did that for about 4 years. And then I started this concept of CityShare, which basically means that we help customers, so app users or website visitors, with this product where they can save their own favorite places around the world and share them with their friends. So that's what I do and who I am.
So before we move on, Christ, I'm just bugging you about this camera. I realize it's too close to your face.
Okay.
That's something better. Wait a second. I'm not a cameraman. However, I do know what I'm doing with the camera.
It was zoomed in on my nose, like you couldn't see me talking.
Well, it wasn't that bad, but it was just like I realized that like it could have been like a little bit further away.
Okay. So shall I do the introduction over again?
Sure.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Maarten. I'm from the Netherlands. I currently live in Amsterdam for 12 years. I'm 30 now, so I started the Amsterdam life when I was 18. Was studying business administration and received a bachelor degree. So then, after 5 years of great partying and studying here, I started my first company called First Check, which was into HR, and the service was called pre-employment screening. So basically what we did, we verified the information on the resume in order to have the honest applicant interviews, and you could hire someone who really received a degree and had the experience. So I did that for about 4 years, and then I started CityShare along with a designer and a developer. And the whole concept is that you can save your own favorite places around the world, so like a hotel or restaurant, and share them with your friends. So when you search for New York, immediately the list comes up with places recommended by the people you trust. So yeah, that's about me and what I do.
Have you always been an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
You've never worked for a big company?
No. I did some work for one of my investors of my previous company. So I have been an employee on getting money for things to do for another person, but no.
And why is that, do you think?
It's you want to build on something. You have this vision. You want to build on something big or small, but something of your own. Yeah, to realize it and to make things better on your own. So you have really the influence of not only being part of a story, but also to create a story and to create something great. You constantly think about.
So,
It's more exciting for me to follow that vision instead of contributing to something really existing or something new, but from someone else.
does money drive you?
It did, but it does way less than it did 5 years ago.
Can you talk to me about that a bit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It did in a way that I started a company and thought, okay, it would be great. I have this gap in the market thing, like pre-employment screening wasn't in the Netherlands. It was regular service in the UK for not only financial service related companies, but also basically every big firm had a pre-employment screening firm. So I thought, okay, I have this gap in the market and I will be not filthy rich, but probably independent by 5 years or 3 years. And then the real life began. Like you can have clients, but you need also clients to really pay. And a lot of problems come in when you start your first company at 24. So yeah, it's good to have like um, it's good to have some financial stability, but I have been financially unstable too, and it wasn't the most important thing that day. The most important thing that day was really to build on this product, which really could make an impact for the end user or the customer. So that became more important over the days and over the years. Sorry.
So what's your biggest challenge at the moment, do you think?
My biggest challenge at the moment is to, we're in this position with CityShare to actually relaunch. So I have to find really the right person at this right moment to work with, or the right people, the right organization, and that's a challenge because, that's some kind of a risk for someone to take. And I need to sell it in a good way because it's a way of selling, that someone really believes in the product, believes in your team, your vision, and in the good things that will come up with building CityShare together.
Do you believe in your product?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Because it's being envisioned about 4 years ago when I went to Berlin, and it's still not out there. And that could be a reason to not believe in a product, but it could be a reason to really see that market gap still. Because when you look at a heavy user, that could be a stewardess or a cabin crew, this girl or this guy is still into emailing the great recommendations for Miami or Barcelona to his or her girlfriends or friends. And they are really into this product of CityShare, where it's way easier to send these recommendations, or not even send it, but just put it on a profile and people could take it, the people you trust. So I constantly get from all the stakeholders we have after 2 years of working on CityShare, I constantly get this feedback of those stakeholders that it must be there someday.
What do you see as in yourself? What do you see as personal growth? It's quite a hard question to answer, but like
personal growth. I made a step into reality, and it sounds like really fake and big in a way, but it wasn't a realistic start I had as being an entrepreneur. When I talk with my friends about those first 3 or 4 years, or even the situation where I am now, I can explain it as some kind of an entrepreneur traineeship. It's like there are just a few entrepreneurs that can tell, okay, my first 5 years as being an entrepreneur were amazing, successful without any pain. So my personal growth is I had this path of 4 or 5 years, and it made me better as a person and way better as an entrepreneur.
And do you have that now, or are you saying that you're now not experiencing that?
I have that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe I have that now. That's different. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just restart the camera. Yeah, I have to restart it every couple of minutes, every like 7 minutes.
Okay.
What do you need to achieve success with CityShare? Or as an let's keep it more like high level. As an entrepreneur, what do you need to achieve?
Constantly self-reflection, like I didn't have in when I started. I thought I had self-reflection, but it's extremely important, I think, to have self-reflection as an entrepreneur. So that's the main thing. Things like that came up yesterday in the session for some entrepreneurs, like motivation, self-starting. That's not the most important. That you have that or not, and it won't come there someday. So for me, it's the most important, self-reflection, and that's related to what I said yesterday. Try to connect with all those smart entrepreneurs and advisors and friends, not only to tell a story, but to constantly ask. It's always good to ask things. So that's connected to the self-reflection.
Can you talk to me a little bit about tapping into other people, like for advice and wisdom and knowledge?
Yeah.
To collaborate?
Yeah. So with CityShare, we have the board of advisors, but that basically means those are 4 guys being an entrepreneur in different fields, and yeah, we just regularly meet like once a month. And besides that, I call them or they call me, and it's like that trusted feeling of I know these guys because of the things we already discussed, and yeah, that's.
Do you help them too? Is it like
Yeah,
a two-way?
yeah. There are 4 guys. 2 I help a lot, and those other 2, for now, they don't need my help, or I don't see I help them. Maybe I do. No.
I was actually no. I'll hold off telling you what somebody else said until the end. But how do you see Amsterdam in all of this? Like, what do you see Amsterdam gives you as an entrepreneur? Is it? Do you want to move somewhere else, or is there something about Amsterdam that keeps you here, apart from the fact that you are Dutch?
Yeah. I think the people from other countries, or like me, I grew up like 30 minutes from Amsterdam, so I was like already an Amsterdammer. It feels like a big city, but a small village too, because that's what Amsterdam, I think, for entrepreneurs is good too. It's like it's the feeling of you can act globally, but you have all the knowledge and connections like in a village. When you go on your bike from west to east, it's like 20 minutes. So everybody is really connected in that way. That's what Amsterdam is for me at its best. But it's also a bit small in terms of when a startup wants to start here and says, yeah, we probably go abroad within a year and we think we will be a success. I do like the whole American part where they say, okay, we will revolutionize this industry and we will be the biggest player in 1 year. So it's a bit bluff, but yeah, I like that too.
You said something about, like, I like what you said about Amsterdam being quite a connected city. Do you have like quite a lot of people that you pull on to get knowledge outside the board of whatever you call them?
Yep, board of advisors.
Board of
Yeah,
advisors.
sounds good.
A community of people that you.
Yeah, there's not one specific place where I will go to for advice or for connecting with people. So the whole idea I had with when I heard of the greenhouse and grows, it could be a place like the Thinking Hut where there are no desks, but it's just you go there on a Thursday evening or you go there on Monday morning for a coffee. So it's not to work, but just to connect. I had that as it could be one place that isn't there in Amsterdam yet, like to facilitate a meeting place for entrepreneurs.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, kind of segueing into my chat to talking about the greenhouse and getting some feedback from you about that. What was it like? What was your what did you like? What did you not like about the greenhouse? And be honest, please.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I thought. Yeah.
So yeah, just reintroduce what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, my name is. No. So yeah. First of all, I liked the sessions. I thought it was good to be with only like 6 up to 8 people. That's a good number of people in a session like that. But I thought it was more connected to growth in a way that it wasn't only asking the entrepreneurs what they want or how they are or what their vision is. I thought it was more what Krols wanted to accomplish for the coming years and what could help them in a way and how they could facilitate vice versa the entrepreneurs in other cities.
So sorry, let's be just super clear. You meant that like you thought that it would be more the case that you would help growth.
Yeah.
And then that group of that growth would help you with a specific problem on yours?
Yeah, we help growth with telling how we think growth could act for the coming years and what would be innovative. I haven't heard a lot of innovative stuff, so it was like innovation, and I didn't see that back in these sessions. And vice versa, I thought it was more that they were searching in how to facilitate entrepreneurs in Amsterdam or Cape Town, whatever. So there was a stronger connection from Goals with entrepreneurs.
And you didn't see that?
No, because like yesterday, like I referred to the drum ruffle thing. It was like, okay, the entrepreneurs are telling what they think could be great to work in this future thing, like making your future work structure, with playing around. I thought there was coming something else, like, okay, we think it will be like this, and maybe you like that as an entrepreneur. But there wasn't that last drum.
Yeah. No, I think that it's interesting. One of the observations I had was that like the packaging sessions had really good tangible outcomes.
Yeah.
Like this works, this doesn't work. We built something together, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
When the open ones, it was kind of like you were left. You needed a second session or a third session to then say, okay, we've explored entrepreneurship as a theme and and our behaviors and our habits and our bad habits. Like now, let's spend another session working on something.
Yeah, and that third session should be like, okay, so we heard all your stories about entrepreneurship and how you think a place would be great to work. We have thought about this hub. It's called the Greenhouse, and we could facilitate you with this, that, and that. Would you like that or not? If you like it, not. If you don't like it, please tell us how it would be better. And then we have this idea of the greenhouse, and we will probably let it pop up in different cities around the world within a year or so. That's really tangible in this idea. But also with the first session, it was.
Which one was that? Just for the.
the session with the packages. It was only for me. It was only half an hour of telling you this packages we like them. So we thought these 3 packages we bring them to you, and you can choose which of the 3. Okay, it was the first one or whatever, and then the session was ended. I thought it would be just better to pick some examples of packages for over 2 hours and then discuss the new growth products for 2 hours. Because then you really have the feeling you're special, being invited for something new and to collaborate with that brand for coming with even something bigger or better.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand that. I think that we saw a lot of the first exercises as warm-ups, like so like, let's understand the golf packaging,
Yeah.
let's understand the world of packaging, and then let's look at what golf is doing now. But I get what you're saying. Like another one of the pieces of feedback was like, feeling like you're actually having an impact on golf in the future.
Yeah.
You want that.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, you like to be part of the big vision.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's create. But the best thing about a session is to co-create. But there wasn't a co-relation like growth and the entrepreneurs. It was only the create of the entrepreneurs, and even creating, you didn't know what you created with the group. Yeah, just a choice of a package, and the second session just created a thing called the future of working, but it was just a joke. We all knew it was a joke with a good explanation why it wasn't a joke. So it wasn't co-create, and it wasn't a clear vision of what we should create. And the entrepreneurs were left with the idea, okay, we created maybe something, but we don't know if it's good for growth or for ourselves.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I found a really good idea that I was talking with a guy this morning was like, how do you get people to be involved without paying them? Because we don't want to pay people because it changes the reason for why people come.
Yeah.
And an earlier version of the greenhouse, which he kind of thought was better, was that like he understood that if like Grosh invited people like you into a room and like you had 8 brains working on a problem, that's good. But it's like, what if we said, like invited you earlier in the process and said, hey Maarten, you spent 4 hours helping us with packaging, but you also get 4 hours and we help you design a session where you get access to these 8 people for a problem that you're trying to solve. So when you come into that session, you say, hi, I'm Maarten, I'm working on CityShine, this is my problem, this is my work,
Yeah.
this is confidential,
Yeah.
and you help me for 4 hours.
Oh, that's great.
And
Yeah.
it's like, brain power is the currency.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I really like that. But the good thing you explain it now again. What I didn't get out of the 2 sessions, I don't know which problem we solved. Were there 2 problems? Because the first session with the packages, I don't know if we solved any problem. The second session yesterday, the open session, I don't know if we solved any problem. I don't know what the problem was.
Well, the first one you did, and that was to confirm or deny routes that Grosh was taking in their design for packaging.
Yeah, but it was only like 20 minutes talk.
Yeah.
And the packages could be way better.
Yeah.
Like extremely better.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's fair. And I think that like you have to remember that it's a big brand that is traditional in its nature, and we're trying to change its behavior to be much more. So like, if you look at the greenhouse, the first greenhouse, it's actually a completely different way of behaving for the brand. So it's quite a big deal for a big brand to do this. I know that there are like other big brands in the world like Red Bull that are completely different and revolutionary, but it's like the first step, it's the first experiment.
Yeah.
And so like, what I really hope is that like we can change the second version to incorporate. Like it seems like entrepreneurs are like engineers. They want a very specific problem to solve. Like they want to fix something.
Yeah.
And
Then there's an achievement. If there's no
yeah.
achievement, it's no fun.
And like a guy I was talking to this morning was saying, you know, like I want to just, you know, I don't care if it's a grosh problem. Like it sounds interesting. I get to be involved with a big brand like that, and maybe have a chance to make my mark and
Yeah.
see something come out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what were the good things that you liked about today's sessions?
The way it was being organized was quite relaxed. So, I mean, the introduction, I mean, a pause, I mean, the space itself, everything was in a good atmosphere. It wasn't really formal. There was a positive vibe, so that's good. There was a good sequence of introduction, then going to this, going to that. For example, with the first session, you could pick those designs you liked and the ones you didn't like, and then you knew something was being done with that to go to the next session. So that was good in that session, but yesterday for me there was no sequence and no end drum ruffle. There's the drum ruffle again. But for the package session there was a good sequence.
What do you think of all the people, the different types of people involved?
Yeah, it was a good mix. I think it was pretty young, and that's weird because the brand is quite old itself, so it could learn a lot from my dad, who is a Grolsch drinker, and I'm not a Grolsch drinker. Everybody knows a guy in Amsterdam of 30 years old would probably drink Heineken instead of Grolsch. So you could learn as being Grolsch really a lot of my dad. He's an entrepreneur too, and he's 64 years old, but he buys a crate of Grolsch every week. So I think it was every week. I think it was a good mix, but I missed in a way the elderly, the older entrepreneur.
So you would have liked to have had someone older in the room to learn from too?
Yeah, that's good.
It's good to know. Yeah, I think like it comes back to this idea of brain power being of real value.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't really spoken about, which is also important to golf, which is creativity. Like you saw yesterday with Agnes using the term creative entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because we believe that to be an entrepreneur, you also have to be creative in your approach to life, to work.
Yeah.
Do you find your creative work, like in your approach to work, do you think it's important that one is creative? Like I think that the Grolsch's mantra is a world without creativity is a world that isn't moving forward. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So how would you, as a last question, how do you plan on moving the world forward?
In terms of as a reflection of the sessions with Grolsch and as an entrepreneur,
As yourself, like so, not as the sessions, but like as Maarten, co-founder of CityShare, or 30-year-old guy who's sitting on the couch. How are you going to change the world?
Okay, so big question. I hope a big answer too. So yeah, I will continue following this path of connecting with other bright minds and product strategy guys and girls, and I will probably not stay in Amsterdam for over 5 more years, but I would like to go abroad and learn from other cultures, and I hope to bring the world this better travel product of CityShare, where you can reflect and say, yeah, this made an impact. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
That's it, man.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you too.
Appreciate you being a good sport. And you know what I mean when I say
Yeah,
good sport.
sure.
You're just